my fellow Englishmen. Today, our country, that which we stand for and all we hold dear, faces an unimaginable horror. Extinction. A parasite, a virus, unlike any other, threatens to rot the very foundation on which our country has been built. This virus, this infectious evil, must be stopped. The contamination must be contained. This festering monstrosity must be righteously purged.
I come before you today because, sadly, there is something very wrong with this country. I know you see it. I know you feel it. This fog of consciousness that has come into our country and blinded us, made its way in like a disease. This virus that eats the flesh of our society, of our families, of our minds. It must be purged before we find ourselves lying amidst the wreckage of what used to be.
What is it that we have lost? What is it that has been stolen from us? Freedom! Last night, I slept, and God revealed to me the future of this country. I had a vision, and behold, I saw a forest shrouded in the half-light of a fog, veiled by the mist that surrounded it. Trees of all sizes, some short, disease-looking saplings, some taller, destined for greatness, waiting to assault the heavens with their grandeur. One among them stood out, an oak tree, strong, proud, well rooted in the soil. This tree bore the scars of many the teeth of a winter wind, and it stood firm through every storm that had assaulted its growth. And again I looked, and a darkness came over the tree, not as an ominous cloud, but rather the fearful absence that comes when all lights have been extinguished and not even a glimmer remains.
And suddenly, without warning, the tree began to change. A rot, a parasite, a virus had infected it, and the tree began to die. Slowly, painfully, as all of its beauty was sapped. Its leaves lost their color and shriveled away. Its branches rotted and fell. Its trunk began to creak and sway with even the slightest breeze. The acrid stench of its rotting trunk filled the air, and other trees laughed at our derision, at the once proud oak that now faced its impending death. I looked once more. Tears filling my eyes, anguish brimming in my heart, and just when it seemed as though the tree had suffered its final fiber of life and was stripped away, the darkness ebbed, the shadows faded, and the light returned. The young oak stretched its disease-ridden boughs to the heavens, displaying its delight and growing brighter leaves, brighter than before, stronger branches than ever. Veiled forest, this grand theatre of being is our world, filled with the nations of man. The English oak has been threatened. The divisive darkness of dissension has driven away the light of unity. The ravaging plague of division has taken hold, and now the once mighty English oak is rotting away before our very eyes. Some among us spread contagious whispers of freedom, liberty, of fatal individuality. Do not be misled. These are not harmless musings and mutterings of little consequence. They speak of freedom, and the only freedom left to mankind is freedom to starve, freedom to die, freedom to exist in a world filled with chaos. And yet, these poisonous whispers of freedom, these corrupting whispers of evil continue. These whispers of half-truths have become the murmurs of lies, and this echoing chorus of heresy threatens to engulf our entire nation. If we give any credence to these murmurs, England, as we love her, will collapse. If we surrender to the shouts of heresy, England, as we have died for her, will fall. They have sought to destroy our past. We seek to control the present, and together we can change the future. I promise you order. I promise you peace, and in return, I only ask for your silent, obedient consent. Those who disturb the peace will not be tolerated. They will be eradicated, and their evil will be silenced. Governments should not be afraid of their people. People should fear their governments. Muslims, liberals, homosexuals, disease-ridden degenerates, we will do what we must. The ravaging plague of freedom will be purged by the antidote of unity. You are a changed people. Compassion and justice are now cruelty and injustice, intolerance and oppression. You are dying because you gave up the right to object, to speak and live as you saw fit. You replaced those freedoms with censors of surveillance, coercing your conformity and soliciting your submission. How did this happen? Who began the process of decay? If you were looking for the guilty one, you might only look into the mirror. I know why you did it. I know you were afraid. Who wouldn't be? War, terror, disease? There were a myriad of problems that conspired to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense. Fear got the best of you, and in your panic you turned to the now High Chancellor Adam Sutler. He promised you order, he promised you peace, and in return all he asked for was your silent, obedient consent. And that is what you are. Silent! The branches of our great nation once had no limits as they reached to the heavens, but now I stand weeping. I weep as I watch other nations mock our efforts. The great oak sags beneath the weight of your apathy. The very silence of the stones you walk upon taunt you. For you have voices, but you do not use them. Eyes, but you do not see the truth. But if you see as I see, if you feel as I feel, if you seek as I seek, then I ask you to rise up and seize the remedy for our infected condition. Unity is not a cure, it is the virus. Freedom is not a right, it is not a gift. It is a corrupting evil, a catastrophic virus, an infectious parasite that will drain the lifeblood of this nation until she oozes forth the fatal pus of freedom from every festering, swollen pore. She will brokenly cry out to her people, "Why? Why will you not save me?" Where can we turn? What cure can be found to rid our country of the cataclysmic virus that terrorizes her from within? Strength through unity, unity through faith. These watchwords do not echo in vain. They are principles found deep in the hallowed halls of history. It is unity that formed the greatest nation the world has ever seen, and unity that will bring it to the golden horizons of many centuries to come. But will unity bind it together today? Will a proud, righteous, indignant people stand and weather the harrowing, nauseous, toxic stench of freedom? It is unity that brought this nation to a former glory, and unity that will restore us to a rightful place at the forefront of all nations, the greatest civilization of all time. Unity is not the cure. It is the virus. This remedy, this cure that you seek, is an idea. It is a dangerous one, I know, for I have seen firsthand the power of ideas. I have seen people kill in the name of them. I speak of the idea of freedom. Freedom is the cure for this tranquilizing drug of conformity, this unity, this false unity that has blinded you. Those that use this banner of unity hiss their lies beneath it, and have inserted into you a fear, a paralyzing fear that spreads like the plague. What relationship has fear with freedom? None! To ensure the survival of our nation, freedom must be our banner. Upon the throne of freedom sit justice and reason, and once they reign supreme, our nation will once again be the dominant force in this world. We will stand again. We will lead again. This great nation will rise again, but only if you release the shackles of your fear. Believe, obey, fight. These are the watchwords of our people. Unity in purpose and in action is the only cure for the virus of freedom that seeks to destroy us. For freedom, choice, liberty, these are the watchwords of our people. Freedom in purpose and in action is the only cure for the virus that seeks to rip us apart. Tonight, the mighty English oak faces a grave and terrible threat. Tonight, we stand on the verge of catastrophe, the edge of oblivion, the brink of chaos. Tonight we must resolve to remain resolute. We must remain strong. We must remain united. Tonight I give you my solemn vow. This people, this nation, this dream shall